Hey guys, welcome to Joe Knows Cryptos, and we're doing the daily video update. So I'm going to answer a few questions on comments, and then I'm going to talk about some things as well. So first thing I want to get into, and I've talked about it a little bit before, but they were in past videos, so just to give a little refresher on it, I wanted to talk about a question about what I thought about gold and silver. So gold and silver, I do hold a little bit of gold, mostly silver, physical silver, but I think that gold and silver were partially responsible for the uptick in the price of cryptocurrencies that we saw in 2017, simply because you saw the gold, well, mainly the silver price drop, and gold as well, while crypto's prices went up. I think people were getting out of gold and silver and getting into cryptos. That's not the only reason they went up. I mean, a lot of people were also getting into cryptos, but a lot of people that held gold and silver were getting into cryptos. I think that as far as the older generation that currently hold gold and silver, or that buy gold and silver, that they're a little bit frustrated with the price manipulation that seems pretty darn obvious. You know, silver's supposed to be 1/10 of the world's supply of gold, yet it's way lower than that percentage-wise in price. You know, they ask, you know, there's no accountability as far as how much gold and silver there is. Nobody even knows how much there is, yet they have a price for it that's set daily. JP Morgan owns tons of silver. It's too manipulated. It doesn't go up enough or off enough for people to get excited about it. At least the old timers, I shouldn't say even old timers, but people that are a little more of the gold and silver bugs, there will always be people who buy it. And I don't think it's a terrible investment. I just think it's getting to be a little bit frustrating for people who do hold it, to hold it for so long and just see it not really do much of anything. It kind of keeps up with inflation. It'll have a little run up here and there, and then come right down, and then come down. As far as the younger generation, I don't think they have really much of any interest in gold and silver. It's too boring. It's their grandparents or their parents' investment or store of wealth. Not enough action. You know, with video games, everything is such a fast pace. It's like one thrill after the next, and that's what people are looking for in their investments, which isn't really the safest thing. And although I believe that cryptocurrencies are going to go way up, they do fluctuate in price quite a bit, and it's that excitement. It's almost like a gambling type of mentality that you have to have a little bit with it, and people like that. It is a little bit addictive, you know, when that draw and that ability to make easy money or make money fast without really doing much of anything is very appealing to many people, and the younger generation is going to be drawn to that. As far as, you know, moving gold and silver around, it's heavy, it's not easy to move, it's not easy to hide. You know, they have different machines that they could, if people wanted to find your gold and silver, they could. You bury it in your backyard, you're taking a chance, you know, leaving it out in your backyard, losing it, forgetting where it's buried, have somebody dig it up, or build something over where you have it plant, you know, put in the ground if it's not in your own personal property. Somebody stealing it, somebody seeing you bury it, people finding your little map of where it is. There's just, I don't know. And then as far as leaving it in a safety deposit box, banks, you know, if there ever is like a terrible bank run, you know, the banks are going to go in those boxes even though they're not supposed to. So it's too hard. Gold and silver, just too heavy, too hard to move, too hard to hide. and silver currently is to find a place where you can trade in your gold and silver, maybe a pawn shop or maybe a reputable coin dealer. Some places those are not easy to find. They're not, a lot of them around. No stores that I know of that you can go into right now with a silver coin, almost 100% silver coin, 0.999 silver coin, and buy anything with it. Unless you've got some old silver coins that were mixed, that are not full silver, that they'll give you the monetary value that's printed on it, but that's not helping you out at all. So gold and silver, I own some. I think that they could go up in value if the dollar ever really loses a lot of its value, and it's just another way to diversify. Personally, though, I'm not really buying any more gold and silver. I've got a little bit in case there is a SHF scenario where I can maybe trade it for some things, and that's even just going to be a temporary gain of value, because you'll be able to trade it for things for so long until people need food, and you can't eat gold and silver. So that's when having other supplies are going to be more valuable than even gold and silver, if that, heaven forbid, that kind of scenario ever did arise. Now, as far as spending cryptocurrencies, there's just more and more adoption every day. Even though right now it seems like you can't buy very much with gold and silver, every day more and more stores, companies, little shops here and there keep popping up that do accept cryptocurrencies. And as the days go by and the months go by, it's going to be accepted everywhere. It's just a matter of time. Where gold and silver, I don't see that happening. It's easy to transfer. I mean, you can have a little wallet. You can just have it memorized as long as you can get on the internet. You don't have to bury it in your backyard. You can have it with you just in your mind, as long as you know your codes and your passwords or your whatever you need to have to get into your accounts. So as far as somebody stealing it, they just can't go in your house and steal it if it's in your mind. It's just not easily accessible. And if you say, well, what if somebody goes to kidnap me to get my cryptocurrencies? What if they kidnap you to get your money or your gold or silver? It's the same difference. They can do that as well. So that argument doesn't really hold any water. So I mean, as far as adoption goes, guys, I want to say that we're barely the second generation of what are going to be crypto rich. The first generation are the people who bought in when it was almost impossible to buy cryptocurrencies. They didn't even have exchanges. I don't even know how they bought it back, 10 years ago. But obviously they did, because there are people who had cryptocurrencies and who sold them, and the market ran up and they're crypto rich. That was very few people, hardly any. We're the second generation. We're getting in, and adoption right now is so early that it's like this huge oil well. Say we're ants again. I like to use this ant analogy. In a car, you're a little ant, and you're sitting on top of this huge SUV, and the SUV is filled with oil or filled with cryptocurrency wealth. And we have our little teeny needle that we stuck in, and just a little bit of cryptocurrency is just spurting out of the top of this huge SUV sized bubble. And we're gathering up those little coins and tokens, and you have all these other people that have no clue about what's going on. No idea. I mean, we're not even at forget $1 trillion market cap. We're not even close to that. Fidelity alone is going to bring in $2.5 trillion, which should bring the price of Bitcoin up close to $100,000 per Bitcoin. Right? Maybe a little less, but right around there. Just Fidelity. That's one company in America. That would be considered small when you consider the entire world and all the companies and all the people. So here comes this you got all these drills that are starting to move into place that are going to start puncturing holes into this oil well, and the wealth is going to start flying out, and we're going to be the ones who got it the cheapest. And there's just so much potential. We're just the tip of the iceberg. We're just a small percentage of people. You know, we're the 1%. They're talking about the 1%. We're the 1% that are buying cryptocurrencies. That maybe in 10 years will be the 1% that are some of the richest people in the world, just depending on how much we can buy and how our timing goes and which cryptocurrencies we get into. I was always also talking on the comment that I made about the gold and silver person about Bitcoin, how right now Bitcoin is, you know, one of the more boring cryptocurrencies, because it's just been kind of going along straight here for the longest time. Where these altcoins, a lot of these altcoins, you see them, you know, make their pops and their runs up here and there. But once the masses start getting into cryptocurrencies, the first ones they're going to get into are the top 10, mainly the top 1 Bitcoin, because that's the one they've heard of, that's the one they know. That's why name recognition is so important, is going to be so important with cryptocurrency. That's why Litecoin putting their advertisement on the UFC mat and sponsoring these K-pop concerts and you know, getting their name out there is so important, because it's just going to be name recognition. People say, this cryptocurrency stuff, I don't really know anything about it, where we know a lot about it already. We've been following it for a while. If you are new to the channel, thank you. Please like and subscribe. But I don't know much about it, but I've heard of Bitcoin and I've heard of Litecoin. So here, I've got this money, let me buy some of it. Yeah, I'll take some Bitcoin and I'll take some Litecoin, because I've heard of it. The altcoins are going to, down the line, they will benefit from the new money coming in. But I think the immediate influx, the first real big pop that we see from the general public getting into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is going to be one of the big movers in that time. Even though it seems boring now, Litecoin will be a big mover because it's cheaper than Bitcoin. Just mentally, people like to own more of something, you know, just like I was talking about in the last video, how people want to buy, you know, the penny cryptocurrencies, but there's 100 billion of them, meaning you got to sell a lot more of them for the price to move. Where now all the cryptocurrencies are so cheap, you can buy one where there's only 100 million for, you know, maybe not a couple penny, you know, but not much more than these ones that have 100 billion coins. You can buy them for practically the same price, but they're going to move up so much faster, and in 6 or 8 or months or a year, they may become unaffordable for you to buy. If you want to get into them now, you can always sell out and buy some of the cheaper ones. But yeah, Bitcoin, Litecoin, probably Ethereum are going to see good moves. I don't know what to really tell you about XRP, because I know there's XRP people out there. I think XRP, with name recognition right now, does have a little bit of name recognition. They might see a pop in the early run. I said it better happen soon for XRP, because they're gonna start fading off in the next year or so, I would say. I mean, they're gonna go from the position they are now, unless they make some big moves or the market really goes crazy. XRP is gonna have trouble down the road, because they're just any old token that was made up out of thin air. The only thing they have going for it right now is banking partnerships, and as the banks create their own cryptocurrencies, there's just not going to be the need for XRP. They'll trade each other's tokens back and forth, but there may be some need for it, but I don't think it's going to be as popular as people think it's going to be. I am getting out of time here, so I'm going to say kiss your wife, your girlfriend, hug your kids, pet your pets. God bless each and every one of you. Joe Knows Crypto is signing off. Please like and subscribe if you have not, and share. Thank you. Bye now.